Hey, welcome everyone. Thanks for being here. Today I have Kevin Dervin with me. Kevin, welcome.
Hey, thanks. Thanks for having me, Tim. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. So, Kevin, would you share a little bit about your background? I know you've been heavily involved in fundraising for quite some time.
Yeah, well, I won't bore you with the entire background because it kind of wanders all over the place. But I've been out on my own in business on my own since 2003 and did a lot of marketing for small businesses, helping them just with the whole process of finding and attracting clients. And then a couple of years ago, I did get involved in fundraising. A friend of mine asked me to take a look at a company that had put together a mobile fundraising platform. And so I thought looked like a pretty cool deal, and I got involved with trying to help some nonprofits and charities with their critical fundraising needs in this kind of mobile dynamic world that we live in, if you will. So. And then, as I mentioned to you before we got on, with the COVID-19, like a lot of people, I'm kind of in pivot and shift mode a little bit, just because a lot of the fundraisers a lot of the fundraising has almost kind of shut down. I mean, we don't have live in-person events. You can't be going door to door and all that kind of stuff. And so I'm going back to a little bit of my roots with helping small businesses with marketing, and I've put together some resources to help nonprofits with to continue to be able to fundraise in this this virtual environment that we're experiencing right now more than ever.
Yeah, it's a challenge for all of us. We've all had to make adjustments. I know that you've got a specific activity. You've started a new site. Put up a new website to really reach out to nonprofits for the fundraising purposes. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. So probably about a year ago, I had purchased a domain called Dynamic Fundraiser, actually to be able to run some fundraising campaigns with a couple of the organizations that I was helping with their fundraising needs. And then with this whole COVID-19 and us all being sheltered in place, stay at home, I had a couple of the organizations that I had helped or been in conversations with reaching out to me and asking, hey, we're obviously this is hurting us. You had mentioned some online resources before. Do you have some things that can help us? And so what I did is I kind of dusted off the old domain, if you will, and I went back to work and just started thinking. I don't know about you, Tim, but I'm glad to see the economy reopening, so to speak. But I think it's going to be a long, hard road for a lot of people, unfortunately. And I don't say that lightly. I just think that everything from restaurants to nail salons and hair salons, it's going to be a long, hard road. And for nonprofits, the same thing. And so I just got to thinking and sort of dreaming about, wouldn't it be cool if we created a virtual platform to help nonprofits be able to take whatever gala or auction or walkathon or dance-a-thon or some other event, fundraising event that they've had in the past, and be able to take it in the virtual environment. I mean, I think I consider it one of the kind of cool side effects of all this is we've got a whole nation full of people that now know what Zoom is and know how to use Zoom. Grandparents are talking to their grandkids probably more in the last 8 weeks than they have in the previous 5 or 6 years because of Zoom. And, it was something that was scary and people were uncertain about it. And now people are using it for all kinds of reasons, to have virtual happy hours and just to get together with family. And so I wanted to kind of embrace that and see if we could help some of these organizations and help them not be reactive to the situation, but let's see if we can be proactive with the situation.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, it is interesting, isn't it, that there are positives. I've done probably 30 or 35 of these interviews at this point, and everyone, like yourself, has found at least one positive that's come out of this, staying at home sort of an issue. And like you said, now we're all tapped into this new virtual world, and I've done interviews with folks in Milwaukee, so it really has expanded our horizons in a very positive way.
Yeah, and one of the things, just as a side note, but I've mentioned this to a lot of my colleagues, and when I get on Zoom calls with guys from my church groups or other, places, I've sort of tried to continue to beat this drum. I think that everybody should be spending some time brainstorming right now and thinking about what do I need to do? How do I need to react? Because there is no going back to the way things were before whatever it was, the middle of March. It's just not going to happen. I mean, even as the economy reopens, things will be different. We're already seeing it. My wife went to go get her hair cut the other day, and it's a complete, total different experience. And my heart bleeds for that woman who owns this salon because her capacity is almost automatically cut in half. So I just think everybody should be thinking now is the time. And because of, this, Tim, I mean, this technology's been around for quite a while. But now I think people are seeing, there's pretty good application of this stuff. This is not just, playtime. There's really good application for business and for nonprofits and, everybody. So I think everybody should be spending some time really thinking, how do I lean into this and how do I take advantage of, what the situation is? Because we can't change the circumstances, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm with you 100%. And like you, I think there are some things that we have all discovered that will continue well
Right.
beyond as we transition to whatever the new normal is. So, hey, Kevin, so I've spent a little bit of time on your site. It's impressive what you've done. I'm glad you dusted that off. I think it's going to be a terrific service for nonprofits. Would you talk a little bit about the site? What sort of fundraising activities folks can do? And again, I was impressed. You've got a video up there, a demo video showing how easy it is to set up a fundraiser. Just talk a little bit, if you would, about what's available in the site's functionality.
Yeah, sure. So a couple of the things that I wanted to be able to do with the website. One of the things that has in the nonprofit, the fundraising world in the last number of years, it has become very popular and very powerful is what we call peer-to-peer fundraising, where we're not just going to our donor database, our supporters, and asking them directly for support. We're not only doing that. Now we're asking, how can we have them help fundraise on our behalf? And it's kind of the modern day virtual, version of the old door-to-door, knocking on the door and asking your neighbors, for help with your baseball team kind of fundraising. Peer-to-peer is just being able to kind of reach out to your family, your friends, and your social media contacts. And so one of the things that I wanted to do, one of the organizations I'm working with has had a local Dancing with the Stars type of event over the last 6 or 7 years. And of course, unfortunately, they've had to, cancel that. So I thought, well, wouldn't it be fun if we took that and we just virtualized it? I mean, these people have already learned, a routine how to dance. And so if we set them up each with their own page and then they're promoting that out to their family and friends and social media contacts and the organizations promoting that out, and we can kind of build some, some PR into that, now you've got 6 or 7, 8 or 9 people, whatever the number is, kind of fundraising on your behalf and still getting to kind of display the talent that they spent the last couple months, trying to learn some specific ballroom dance or something like that. So that's just one thought or idea. Of course, having things like auctions on there, whether it's a silent auction or live auction, just to be able to kind of, my vision is to create something that's so fun and engaging that people, even when they can go back to the live event next year, they'll still want to do the virtual event because it was that much fun. And so, we got some organizations that are evaluating talent shows. I don't know if you watch the local news, but there are no sports now. So the local sports guys are showing what they call backyard sports, and they're showing these kids doing these amazing things in their living rooms or their backyard. That kind of stuff is fun and engaging, and you can leverage that into a fundraiser, just by a 2-minute video of somebody doing something amazing and then posting that out through your social media circles and emails and text and everything else, and asking people, for their support for the cause that you're trying to, raise money for.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And like I say, I spent some time on your site and super impressive. Like I say, it's quite a service that you're offering to folks to continue their fundraising. And as you say, I think a lot of fun. I think folks will discover new ways, creative, innovative ways to use your site and to continue to fundraise. So it's
Yeah, I think so, and I think it offers some unique advantages that some of the live events maybe don't offer. I mean, you're not you're going to take a lot of the expense out with maybe not having to have a venue that you're renting and catering or some of those. I don't think it's going to take all the expense out, but I think it can help lower. And I think some organizations have already been surprised when they took their event virtually early on that they're actually netting more money than they did last year with the live and in person. And the other advantage I think it does is that you're not just catering to an audience here in Overland Park or in the Kansas City metro area. You can have people all over the world participating in your virtual fundraising event. I think those are going to be some unique advantages that once people kind of grasp it and wrap their head around it, and don't be afraid to try it, is what I want people to think. Just dream and dream big. Let's just let's get you back in business is what I want for these organizations.
fantastic. Yeah, well, best of luck to you and your site and the nonprofits that you serve. And thanks so much for stopping by today. Appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, Tim. A great job with the series. I've really enjoyed it. I think you've been doing a great job.
Thanks.